So we've gotten a whole lot accomplished in the last couple episodes. We're really up until here. We got the farm and our base and our storage facility, which includes that little house right next to it. So I'm going to head back to our storage facility, and we've got one more little task ahead of us there. You can see I've gathered a whole lot of materials. I think I'm going to actually come and put these bags away so that I can go get some dirt. The next part of what we're doing is going to be a bit complicated. Hey guys, thanks for watching episode 16. Today we are coming to you from the storage facility where we will be building the Colosseum structure around it. As we discussed really early on, one of my main goals with this world is going to be to look like many different cultures have lived in the same area for a long period of time and have just built buildings around each other. So the backstory for this area is that the first group dug the hole. The second group, who are the monolithic builders, first built a henge around the hole, which then turned into a Colosseum sort of a structure. Probably it would have had something to do with water or sun worship. Definitely would have led to sun worship, however, once the tower was constructed. There are the sun viewing posts up on the top. And then the final culture, the most modern, at least for this point in time, is going to be this culture. 13 to 1700s Europe, let's say. At least inspiration-wise. So the next step is this Colosseum. It's just going to be two concentric circles constructed of arches that go around the tower. And I have gone ahead and added the complete outside circle, which is a new thing. I was looking at pictures of the Colosseum, and it has an outer layer that's higher than the inner layer, but the inner layer goes all the way around and the outer layer does not. And I noticed that we've got a kind of a similar situation here where I can make this inner layer come in here on both sides really, and then the outer layer starts like here. So that actually ends up being the second reason for this, is that it adds a cool little unintended art entrance here. So you can walk around in here, go in there, walk around here. So this is a really good example of what could be a daunting and seemingly impossible task, but that absolutely isn't that big of a deal. Kind of like the stairs, like what I was talking about, what we're going to do is take it in sections. We're going to figure it out bit by bit and then complete the pattern all the way around. Because it is a repetitive pattern. So let's go back around to the front where I built this trying thing. The more that I look at it, the more I think I might want to lower it one, except that will interfere with that because it brings it down a level. The way I have it is that the slab on the very top of that goes here. So this is where those stairs are on this level right here. Okay, start with this side. And this is just one of these little sections. So I'm going to go ahead and start by going from here. I actually think I'm going to want to go this way instead of that way. But I don't want these to be open, so I'm going to go ahead and place them. But just disregard that, and let's go this direction. I'm choosing to go this direction because it's a full quarter of the circle. So, as I was saying, we start here by cutting out this, and we add some bricks and some slabs like so. I'm ultimately going to need scaffolding for this, so I might as well just go ahead and start it. The offhand torch thing is kind of a pain. There's 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 balls. Oh. So you see, once I figure out the easiest way to accomplish this, then it's simply a matter of just repeating it all the way around. And I actually think I'm going to keep this scaffold up and just work it around, as opposed to removing it and bringing it back and all of that. At least until I run out, I think that will be easier. Okay. So that seems like a good size in regards to the building, especially if it goes up a second layer on the other side. I know it's kind of hard to see with the scaffold there. You know, maybe I will remove like that and then bring it. That was weird. Yeah, like that, so that I can actually see what I'm doing here. You see, even with that, you can see the 2 layers are going to be pretty cool. Okay, so I like that size. It's important to always take a step back over and over and over and over and look at what you're doing. You don't want to get all the way around and then decide that it's one too high, because then you have to go around and redo it all, and that's a whole lot of time. For this next one, and really for all of them from here on out, I'm going to follow some rules, like start in the middle every time. Whoa, that's not the right place for that. Start in the middle every time. And then I've got these, and then the nether rack here, actually I've already got laying out the curve. So that makes it much easier then to figure out what I'm doing. With the stairs and the slabs on top. That's going to be the tricky part, the stairs and the slabs on top. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then let's just take a look here. Because we've got a curve coming out, I think it might be easiest to go ahead and place those first. Did that go down there? No, I don't think so. I've got a dirt down there, but that hardly matters. And then maybe like... Do I want the curve to go inside or outside? If I tried like that. Now neither of these two stairs, this is why I said it's going to be funky, but you figure it out once and then you repeat it. Neither of these two stairs will actually work the same as this. They've either got to be off. Let me get up here and show you what I'm talking about. They either need to be off of that pattern or they're not touching the pole. Either way is going to be funky, isn't it? Okay, so what if I add, let's see, if I remove that and turn it that way, I know this is weird, but just bear with me for a second here, because if I put that in there, do I then have the best of both? Ouch. I'm not going to be able to see. I'm going to sleep and I'll be right back. Okay. Well, kind of like what I'm doing, but I think it's facing the wrong direction ultimately, because it needs to face like in and then oh, stairs can be hard. They really can be quite tricky. Let me show you something here. Okay, so we've got a block, and each block obviously has 6 sides, right? 4 on the sides, 1 on the bottom, 1 on the top. Each side, however, also has 8 sides. So there's the top, the right, the left, the bottom, and all 4 corners. When it comes to placing stairs, which of those sides you are looking at actually makes quite a difference, and that ends up being how you place a stair. So if I start on the ground and look on there, it's going to go, right exactly where I was pointing. If I come here and look in the corner, it's going to connect the two. If I come here and look on the side, it's going to place one down. But if I come here and look up in that corner and also on the side, it's going to place one up. If I look up at the top, it'll place it that way. If I'm looking at the bottom, it'll place it that way. So really, once you know these rules, it's much easier to place them, theoretically. But it's also sometimes in the middle of your workflow very easy to forget which direction you're looking. I think I might try something else here. What if I did like this way and then like that, and then connected? I think it also might help if I add this slab so that I can see what I'm doing a little bit better. Alright, that's a little bit better. It might end up being a case of needing to widen up the circle. I'm wondering, because, see if I just hop over here, but also if it were wider it would interfere with the outer circle, and the outer circle would have to go bigger. So I think I'm just going to figure out how to make it work with this. But that's just looking funky. I think I'm on the right track on this side. What have we got going on back here, though? So I wanted to preserve that. What if I sneak on out here and like that? Okay, kind of. I mean, it provides the illusion that the stair pieces are going around the column, like in that one. I think the ultimate test is going to be getting one more accomplished and then making up my mind from there where I want to go. 1, 2, 3, 4. And a little cap on top. Did I do that completely wrong? Yeah, because I was concerned about falling off. Looks the same to me. I want to clear up some of this dirt and just get a look at what I've got here. It's getting somewhere. It's a little bit bulkier than I would like in the back. I think that part of the funky that I'm seeing here, let's see if I can figure out how to best describe this. Up here we've got a flat one that's a step above, or a half a step I guess, above the stairs. Over here we're missing that gap in the middle. So I'm going to undo all that I did and just take a look again here. I think I'm going to play around with this just a little bit, and then I'll come back when I've got something that looks better, I guess. Okay, so it ended up just being that block, which makes it super easy. Well, you know what happens to my design if I put that in there? Does that drastically change it? Yes, it does. And I don't think I like that change, to be honest. When you're making changes like this and you've got one pattern. Okay, how do I describe this? Let me think. There are multiple different ways that you can cut up a structure. Like, if you're talking in terms of design, you can cut it up with different textures. You can cut it up with different colors. So like you could use all stone but different textures, or you could use, I'm looking for cobble. Here we go. Or you could use different materials with different colors and different, hardnesses and aspects, which, I mean, you can definitely tell in this game that things have different hardnesses and whatnot. So the other way that you can break it up is just with the pattern in the way that you are laying down the blocks. So, like, let's see, this one's going to come here. So because this design that I'm working on here is whimsical and a little bit playful, that alone with the curve and the design is enough design-wise for it to be varied. When I add the stone brick in here, it does something to it. It doesn't just vary the design, but in fact it changes the shape. If you look at it, your eye moves differently throughout the structure. So if you look at the one on the right, you tend to go from the top and look down. If you look on the one on the left, it's kind of confusing where to look, but ultimately my eye at least goes up and out through the top. And I want this structure to bring your eye down, to feel grounded. It's already a very tall tower. It's already going to feel just floaty and silly, or has the potential of feeling floaty and silly. My other reasoning for that is that this structure in and of itself is a variation of material to add to this whole structure. It ties the tower into the house by being the same material, the same stone material, and then the tower and the house have the similar white and similar roof, so they make sense next to each other. I'm mixing a whole lot of different architecture styles together from different cultures, and normally speaking, that's not something that you want to do. You gotta pay really close attention to what you're doing when you're designing something like this and do it all on purpose. And really, if that's something that is interesting to just about anybody, if any of it interests anybody, like, I want you to let me know. Put it down in the comments, because I love design and doing design tutorials and all of that kind of nonsense, and I would love to do more of those on here. I know quite a bit of it. As I've said, my actual background is in design and architecture, so as they say, this is kind of my bread and butter. Let's take a look at this. Ultimately, I think I'm going to try pulling these stairs forward. I know it doesn't match what's on the bottom, but sometimes you gotta deviate here and there just a little. And as I spoke of before, the reason that I'm doing that is because we've got this little slot up there, and that's what I'm trying to find. And this one is a 1 block wide slot. And I feel like if I were to continue these, I don't know if I'm going to continue all of them per se, but I'm going to try it first like that. 1, 2, 3. That's what I mean by all 3 of those. And there it is. Look at that. You see, when I come back here and look at it, it's coming together. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to end the episode right here. But since I've already figured out what I'm going to do from here, it just repeats itself all the way around. So I'm going to finish off this inside layer of this Colosseum. So I will see you in that episode, and much more of this will be finished at that time. I look forward to it, and I hope you do too. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you're having a great day. This is Gocleau from Flatironix Entertainment. So I just went ahead and finished the outside. It ended up not being that much different from the inside. I want to show you, but I felt like starting with what I've got going in here. So this is the path between the inside and the outside. And it's easy to get into the storage unit, easy to get out of the center, but once in here, there's a whole block height, which I did with, like a slab down here and a slab there to make it a whole block. Like this stone, of course, is just a block. And there it is. Let's walk out on this little bridge. This should be good. Yeah, there we go. That looks pretty cool. So the stone of the henge, or Colosseum, sort of a structure, ties into the house. Basically, they all should just tie together to look like one structure. And there you go.